Oh, so I'll be your reason. We won't talk again. Oh, so I'll be your reason. We won't talk again. Oh, so I'll be your reason. We won't talk again. I made you fall slow. I made you fall slow.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I decided to actually remake a look that I did this past Saturday night at a birthday party, and it was pretty fun and stuff, but I wanted you guys to see what kind of look I did. It was at night, so this is kind of a night look, even though I am filming it during daylight, but I just wanted to recreate this look so you guys know what kind of looks you can go for nights. It could be birthday parties, any special events. I personally like really dramatic lashes. If you don't want to go for the lashes, you can just go ahead and curl them and add some mascara and you're ready to go. You also don't have to go for the bold lip. I actually, this past Saturday night, I didn't do this lip. I went for a burnt burgundy. Almost a red, but it's a little bit more dark and a little bit more burnt. But I absolutely love how the look turned out. I actually don't have a picture to show you guys, but this is kind of like a second edited version, you could say. You know, I saw the first look that I did and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna add this to make it perfect because I like my makeup to be on fleek as always. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial as much as I enjoyed filming it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. Hey guys, what is up? So I'm going to be starting off by using a concealer as my primer today. Concealers actually work as a very, very good primer. Depends on the concealer you have, but this is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, and this always comes in clutch for me. So I am using this all over my eyelid as always before I start applying my eyeshadows, just so my eyeshadows have something to stick onto and it just doesn't fall off throughout the day. And then I'm going with my self-made palette as always with my, as usual, Buttery shade to set my eyeshadow primer. And then going in with Makeup Geek's Creme Brûlée as a transition shade, because as you guys know, transition shades are the key to having a very well blended gradient effect going on in your eyeshadows, which is what you always want. And you also want to make sure that your transition shade is the shade that you blend the most, just because it's going to be the shade that makes the rest of the colors on your eyes just look a little more blended. Then going in with Cocoa Bear from Makeup Geek. It's just a little bit more warm brown. I'm going to be using this on the very lower crease. It's okay if it's a little messy because we're going to be blending it in to the bottom lash line as well. This is going to be creating that gradient, kind of like our secondary transition shade for the darkest shade that we're going to be applying, which is Makeup Geek's Corrupt, which is a very matte black shade, and we just need a more softer brown just to create that lightest to darkest shade. Then going in with Makeup Geek's Corrupt, which is the most blackest, like literally guys, the most blackest black eyeshadow I have in my collection. Going in that to the outer V, blending it down to my eyelashes. Just applying as much as I want to create that intensified look. Then going in with my pop of color, which is pink champagne, all over my lid, well, actually just in the inner corner, blending it into my Cocoa Bear into the Corrupt shade just so it creates a light to dark. that is what creates the most blended and most it just makes your eyeshadows look so much more better at the end. Then going in with my Becca highlighter in the shade Opal. It is, as you can see, very messed up. I actually dropped it, and I don't know if you guys remember from my past videos, but it actually happened when I was filming. But I'm just applying that in the corner before applying my face, which is my Milani 2-in-1 foundation plus concealer, which conceals and perfects my skin. I love how this foundation looks on me. If you guys would like to see a first impressions on this foundation, I actually have a video on it, so I will link it down below for you guys if you guys are interested in watching a full review on this foundation. Then going to my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer, as always, is one of my holy grails, as you guys have noticed probably. I use it like every single one of my videos. And I will also include it in my favorites videos as well. Using my Booty blender to blend that in, and I'm fast forwarding through this because you guys have seen me blend my foundation in and my concealer in so many times already, so you guys don't need to see that once more. And now I'm actually going to be using my It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. This is such an amazing full coverage, although it doesn't look like it when I dot it, but once I blend it in, it looks so intense. As you guys can see, it creates a very like a brightener up for my eye, for my inner corner. I love applying it in just in the inner corners because it just brightens my whole look up in an instant. I also use it in my beachy looks also, even though it is a very heavy duty concealer and I'm going to the beach, but it just gives me that awake look, as you guys can tell. And then going ahead and using my Boots Translucent Light Loose Powder. I'm going to be using this instead of my Ben Nye Banana Powder because I feel like I'll be using that in so many of my videos so constantly. So I'm trying to change things up a bit. I'm using this as my baking powder just to set my under eye concealing and just to make sure I don't have any creases. And this is a very powdery formula, and it's also a very white formula, so don't be scared, it's not going to look that intense, but it does give me a more intense look than usual with my banana night powder. Then using my L'Oreal Infallible pressed just pressed powder. Thinking of so many things right now. Using that to set the rest of my face where I wouldn't apply my concealer. Using a smaller brush, as always, you guys know the drill, to apply it on the places where my bigger fluffier brush couldn't get a hold of. And also adding a slight contour. And honestly guys, it was so hot when I was filming. The light just, oh my gosh. But I'm using my e.l.f. blush palette in the only bronze shade that is in this palette, just to create my warming up. And it just gives a really nice bronze look to my face. And when I'm having beachier looks, I go for a heavier bronzer look. But not today, I'm going for a very light bronze sheen. Applying that on the places where I naturally see the sun that hits my face the most. So under my cheekbones, on the perimeter of my forehead, and on the sides of my nose, just to balance the look out a little bit. Then moving on to my blush, I'm using my Bare Minerals Soft Focus Loose Blush. I love this blush because it's unique, it's loose, and I love that it gives me a really soft look, just as it claims in its title. And I just like to use this technique where I apply it on the cheeks, on the apples of my cheeks, and kind of use the hug method where I just press it on the apples and glide it up smoothly to my temples. I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit. I'm using these two bottom shades. I like to pair these because one is just a little bit too white and frosty for me, and the other one is a little bit more pink, so it just kind of balances out. And then in this video, I'm using a lot of my adjustable brushes as always. This is a highlighter brush that I always tend to use just because it's tapered and it makes it so much easier to apply my highlight. This is just a base highlight actually, guys. I'm going for a really intense highlight just because I wanted to. So it just creates a subtle glow, as the Glow Kit its names. So I'm going to apply that on my cheekbones, bridge of my nose, and I'm using my Becca highlighter in the shade Opal, which I used as my inner corner highlight for my eyeshadow, right on top of it just to intensify the glow a little bit more. As you can tell, it did intensify it a bit more, and I just love how it turned out. I love how it looks. And I also did add that Becca highlighter, which is the most intensified highlight that I've ever used in my life, on the bridge of my nose, just to give my nose a bit more of a very contoured nose. And it also gave me a really different look, and I love how it made it look a little more slimmer. That is the beauty of makeup. If you guys want to see a video of me showing you guys how to contour your nose just to make it look like you had like plastic surgery, but it's just makeup. So if you guys want a detailed video on that, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, and make sure to leave me a comment down below. Then I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit to contour my cheekbones just a little bit, to intensify the look a little bit more. Then using the same brush, I'm going into the sides of my nose just to give it a slight contour. If I would want a more harsh contour, more precise contour, I would use a smaller brush, but I'm just kind of on a rush. So if you guys want to see a tutorial on my brows, make sure you check the description box, you guys. So I'm using Makeup Geek's Cocoa Bear, same shade that I used as my secondary transition shade, to further blend out Corrupt. I am applying that on the very bottom lash line just to balance the look out, just so I won't have eyeshadow on the top lid. And then using my Makeup Geek's Corrupt to just give this a bit more definition, applying it with a small flat shader brush just to apply it on the very outer corners, just to give a little bit of definition. Cocoa Bear was just to blend out the eyeshadow a bit more, to smoke it out. And then using my Pop of Color, which is Pink Champagne from my Self-Made palette, I'm going to be using with a smaller brush on the very inner corners on my bottom lash line, just to balance the look out as always. I'm also applying a little tiny bit of that on my brow bone just to lift my brow bone a little bit and make it pop and stand out, and I just love how this looks on my brow bone. Love it. Lastly, for my lippies, I'm using an ultra matte lipstick by Colourpop in the shade Avenue, and it didn't match my eyeshadow, but I think my eyeshadows were neutral enough so I could use this because it also matched my shirt and it just really complemented it. And we are done. If you guys like this tutorial, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos. Love you guys. Bye.
I'll be your reason. I'll be